All right, you guys, now we have quality in the product that you're selling. All right, quality is extremely important. So when we talk about quality, you have to know exactly where you're at. Now, if I ask anybody, well, where are you at with quality wise, 9 times out of 10 people are going to turn around and say something ridiculous like, oh, we have the best everything, and it's like, I don't think so, right? I'm sure if I were to go really look for whatever, I could find something better. I could find a better deal. I could find a better whatever. So it's like the quality you have to be real about. All right. Now that doesn't mean you go and you tell everybody I have a shitty product, right? If you have a product that's not the best, hopefully you don't have just a terrible product, because then at that point you're a scammer. But hopefully you have a product that is at least semi decent, right? And that turns around and means that you could turn around and sell and not feel bad about anything because you actually believe in your product. You know where you're at. You might be a B, you're not an A plus, but the price reflects it, right? So take this to as a personal trainer. I know what I bring to the table, right? I know I'm not, I don't have a doctorate in any of these things, but I have results that can prove exactly where I'm at, right? So I also try to tell people, I'm like, hey, I know where I'm at, with all of this stuff. I don't have a gym for you to work out at. I don't have, a series of companies and stuff at the time, right? I don't have a series of companies that show all my success. I'm not on TV with all of these things. I know where I'm at, right? That's why my price reflects it. So when I first started with personal training, I was struggling. I was actually homeless, and so when I was charging to my clients, it was for like $15 to like $25 a session, and I felt bad to even ask for that, right? And then I turned around and I got to the point where I started doing like $50 a session, and it's because a buddy of mine actually like pushed me to do it. And so when I got to that point, I felt really comfortable, but I also knew what I brought to the table. So I turned around and eventually I ended up getting my prices up to about, I think it was maybe it was like 91st or 80 before I got to 100, and then eventually I got to like 150, right, a session. And that's because I knew what I brought to the table. I was a sponsored athlete at this point, right? I'm competing on stage. I'm gaining this following, right? I'm partnered with chefs and everything like that, chiropractors, you name it. I'm bringing a lot to the table. The quality of sessions that you're getting from me is top tier because of everything else. The quality of trainer is a lot better as well. So now I know exactly where I can place my prices. I would have been an idiot to go into the game thinking I'm going to charge $150 a session and someone's going to pay it. Someone might have paid it once and then gotten rid of me, and that's not where you want to be. You want for people to feel great about where you're at. If you don't have top tier quality, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, right? People go to McDonald's not because it's the best burger ever, but because it's affordable, right? So you need to know the quality that you're at, and the price better reflect it. So, again, we're going to jump through all three, main types of businesses that I see. So as far as sales, so now we talk about car sales, right? If you don't have, the top whatever Toyota, right, super reliable brand X, Y, and Z and stuff, and your used car dealership, and everyone's asking for a reliable car, you don't have a Toyota, you don't have a Tesla, you don't have all these different nicer cars and more reliable cars, and you have a car that's a used BMW, right? Now that sounds good, but those of you that are in the car business, damn well that the Toyota is going to last way longer than the BMW. And if you turn around and you have somebody and you're trying to get them to purchase through you have to know where the quality meets the price, right? And so it's like, if you have this crappy car or whatever, that's fine, that's perfectly fine. and it's priced, it's outside of your control as far as the starting price and everything like that. You know how you could turn around and wiggle and everything like that, and you probably don't even make that much on used cars anyways, especially used cars that cheap. So it's like, what's a couple extra bucks, you know? This is where you turn around and see exactly where you're at. Now, with that being said, when used cars were extremely valuable, right, you know what you got, right? You know exactly what you got. As long as you had, you know, that used Toyota and stuff like that, you could push these bad boys because they're reliable. People know that. They win awards for being reliable and stuff like that. And you know what you have. They're rare. They're few and far between, right? So you can go ahead and price that bad boy up because that's what the market calls for. You know exactly what your product is worth. You know the quality of it, right? So you doing this not only helps you out and helps them out, right, in the process, but it also helps you out even more because if that person knows what they're doing and they see how you approach them, that changes the game completely, right? My mentor has a saying, you know, just enough to be stupid, right? And I think all salesmen, anybody that's ever been in sales can attest to this, right? You have that guy that used to be a car salesman back in the 70s, and he comes and starts talking to you about how he used to. You don't care about that, you know, you don't care about that at all. You know, you turn around, you hear the stories, and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, I got to listen to this, that, and the other and stuff like that. Same thing in real estate. You hear those people that say, oh, you know, I was going to be a real estate investor. You know, I paid for, you know, this one guy to do, and I just never did anything with it. Oh, okay, cool. All right, back to what we were talking about, right? That's how everyone mainly feels, right? I hear about these stories from everybody, right? When you turn around and you have somebody, they may not know anything, right? They may know just enough to be stupid, but whatever they do know, as long as it's something that's real, they could turn around and see if you're coming from a good place or not. And I've ran into this so many times. I've ran into this with every business I have. I love being the most knowledgeable person. And when I sit down with families for personal training and I start talking about different things, you know, their sciatica pain, whatever, you could always tell. It's usually the dads will turn around and like kind of jump up in their seat to input at that one thing that I'm addressing that they know is true. And after that, they're like, you know what? Yeah, this guy, I only know a piece of this, but the piece I knew, he said it as well. You know, I know this one part to be true, and he said it. You know, in the car sales game, you know, you turn around and you deal that with that one guy that used to, you know, sell cars or used to work on cars or whatever. And you turn around, you say something, and you're talking about your quality, right, or lack thereof in the vehicle. And when they turn around and they hear that, their defense immediately goes down because they know what you're saying is true about that specific thing, right? That specific part of the quality, you know. Oh yeah, you know, with these cars, they actually, I don't know, started, you know, pulling back on transmission work. So the engine is actually the engine from a Camaro, and you know the transmission is this, that. So because of that, it started messing. You know, all these little things they sit there and they go crazy for because they've done their research, right? My dad knows a safety rating for pretty much any car possible. You know, when we turn around and went to go look at my sister's car and my baby sister's car, I got twin sisters, and when we were looking at buying their car and everything like that, my dad was happy when everything that we were talking about at home and all of the magazines that he had was coming to play, right? He was very happy about it, you know, and when we turned around and we got their car and everything like that, he already knew all of these things and he was happy about it because he knew the quality. The person that we were speaking to also confirmed everything that my dad was saying, you know, and so my dad liked it even more. I liked it even more, you know, because at that point I was like, dang, Bob's like, yeah, all that research you've been doing, yeah, it's paying off because everything you're saying, he's saying, you know, all of these things are real. You know, you guys are finishing each other's sentences and stuff because this is a top quality car, you know, and it's the perfect fit for my baby sisters, you know, so that made us all feel a whole lot better. If I were to ever buy a car down there, I would only go to that specific salesman, you know, that guy. He knew his quality. He knew that we were really concerned about safety, you know, and then second to that, we were concerned about gas, you know, and so he made sure that he put us with the right car and it was exactly what we wanted, right? It was the exact quality that we were looking for. And so the price didn't matter as much as the quality is what we got, which is something that was safe, right? And then second to that, good on gas, right? So that's an example. Even in real estate and stuff, you run into things like this. These are examples of where, the quality and the product that you're selling, you got to know where you're at. Don't lie to yourself and don't lie to anybody else. Know where you're at. Know that your construction job. Hey, I don't have all the fancy tools as everybody else. I can't finish as fast as them, but I tell you what, I take pride in my work. I take pride. I don't do nearly as much jobs as the bigger companies, but I put my heart and soul into these things, and I've never had a bad complaint. I've only had 5-star reviews. So, if you go with me, I'll make sure I show you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Maybe learn something about it and you feel better about everything once you know what's going on before I slap on, the drywall and everything. What the plumbing looks like on the back of it. What the electrical looks like. I'm explaining these things to you, and I take pride in my work. I promise the quality is going to be up to standard. When you get ready to sell this house, you don't have to worry about anything that I did work on. I promise you, and something like that will go a whole lot further, and I've even had people, I've had contractors come and tell me, like, what are you looking for? Are you looking to get done fast and cheap, or are you trying to get something solid? And I was like, nah, fast and cheap, man. Straight up. All right, cool. Yeah, we'll do flooring for this amount, and yeah, everything will be good. It's not like there's going to be anything wrong with it, but we're going to turn around and we're going to put baseboards on and an extra, quarter round to cover up, because there's probably going to be some little, there's probably going to be about like a 1/2-inch gap from the drywall to the edge of the flooring. And it's like, okay, cool. If you guys are going quick, that's to be expected. If they turn around, they're doing a painting job, and they turn around, they ask me, do you want a quality job? Yes, I want a quality job. Okay, I just wanted you to know that it's going to take a little bit longer because we're going to take a whole day to paint prep. Yeah, absolutely, that makes sense. I assume that this is a $750,000 house. I definitely want you to do a good paint job. Perfect. Well, then we're under the same understanding. So know the quality and the product that you're selling, and make sure that your price adjusts to that, and don't ever try to go against it either way. All right. Why?